Hello and welcome to News Now. I'm your host, Taylor Inman. We're going over the biggest headlines this week for Northwest Montana. Two Northwest Montana lawmakers toured the southern border in March with Numbers USA, a self-described immigration reform group that organizations who track extremists say is tied to the racist founder of the modern anti-immigration movement. State Representatives Steve Gunderson of Libby and Braxton Mitchell of Columbia Falls, both Republicans, were among a small group of Montana legislators to visit the U.S.-Mexico border as part of a trip organized by Numbers USA. Both said they were unaware of Numbers USA's history or reputation. Numbers USA has often been described as an anti-immigration group whose primary goal is pressuring elected officials to reject pro-immigration legislation and immigration reform, according to Stephen Piggott, a researcher and program director at the Western States Center, a Portland-based group that tracks extremists. He said he has no issue with elected officials visiting the southern border, but their affiliation with a group like Numbers USA is, quote, deeply problematic. The group was founded in 1996 by Roy Beck, who had very close ties to John Tanton, founder of the modern anti-immigration movement, according to Piggott. Described by the Southern Poverty Law Center as holding white nationalist beliefs, Tanton argued that a European-American majority is required to preserve American culture, according to the civil rights and racial justice nonprofit. Tanton created a network of immigration organizations over time, including the Federation for American Immigration Reform and the Center for Immigration Studies. Numbers USA was founded by Beck, who Tanton described as his, quote, heir apparent, according to Piggott. When asked about the group's history, Mitchell said he had never heard of them. He said he, quote, doesn't agree with radical movements or ideas, whether they are backed by liberal, white nationalism, black, brown, yellow, or white people, end quote. Numbers USA disputes how it's characterized by the Southern Poverty Law Center and other extremist monitoring groups. Following the trip, both Gunderson and Mitchell expressed concern for what they saw in terms of border security and an influx of immigrants and a lack of federal action. Gunderson said he learned of the trip from other state legislators. Andrew Good, Numbers USA's Director of State Government Relations, said that if enough people were interested, they could arrange a tour. According to Numbers USA, each legislator paid for their own trip. The trip was the first of its kind, according to Good. The goal was to see the border, learn about its existing infrastructure, and talk to people on the ground, he said. The group observed the border at the Yuma sector in Arizona and then traveled to the San Diego area. Montana State Library Commissioner Carmen Cuthbertson on Friday compared the Montana Library Association to the Ku Klux Klan, claiming the organization sent an anonymous letter as part of boycotting a meeting. Cuthbertson said an anonymous letter doesn't allow the commission to respond in any way and is a very cowardly way to communicate. She went on to say, quote, and frankly, it puts me in mind of the Ku Klux Klan members who wore masks so they couldn't be identified. You're engaging in similar behavior when you distribute an anonymous letter, end quote. Cuthbertson made the comment at the commission's meeting in response to an MLA boycott of an annual informal get-together with the commission and librarians during MLA's annual conference in Butte in April. She said a handful of librarians who did go to the meeting gave the anonymous letter to the commission that said the MLA was boycotting the meeting. MLA leadership says the organization did not send an anonymous letter to the commission. Cuthbertson did not respond to emailed questions and a request for a copy of the letter. MLA Board President Kelly Riesig said the organization did not send an anonymous letter to the commission during the meeting. In a statement, the organization denounced Cuthbertson's comparison of the organization to the hate group, as well as another commissioner's comment that the boycott was undemocratic. The State Library Commission administers grants, sets library standards for the state, and certifies librarians. The Montana Library Association is a statewide advocacy group for policies and resources for libraries and library professionals. The association and the commission have held opposing views on recent issues before the commission, including the commission's decision in December to remove requirements for library directors of large municipalities to have master's degrees, as well as the commission's decision to be the first state in the country to withdraw from the American Library Association. Incoming president of MLA, Sarah Whitger, said in an emailed statement on Monday that she denounces Cuthbertson's comparison of the organization's boycott to the KKK, saying they are in no way comparable to the atrocities committed by the hate group. Cuthbertson also serves as the co-chair of the Flathead County Library Board. The commission is scheduled to meet again on June 12th. Glacier National Park staff are gearing up for the season, with Westside vehicle reservations about to begin and snow plows nearing Logan Pass. Vehicle reservations are required for all Westside Park entrances starting May 24th. The vehicle reservation checkpoint on the Going to the Sun Road for eastbound traffic will be located at Apgar Loop Road. Visitors without a vehicle reservation or a service reservation will be required to take a left turn onto Apgar Loop Road and circle back through Apgar Village. Congestion is expected in Apgar Village and Apgar Visitor Center with limited parking. Park officials said only emergency vehicles will be allowed to take a left turn from Apgar Loop Road onto the Sun Road. Reservations originating east of Logan Pass cannot be used instead of a vehicle reservation for access past the Apgar checkpoint heading east on the Sun Road. The park's free spring hiker-biker shuttle will provide weekend service from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. starting on May 11th and ending on June 30th, or when the Sun Road opens all the way, whichever happens first. The shuttle will run between Apgar Visitor Center, Lake McDonald Lodge, and Avalanche Creek. It operates on a first-come, first-served basis, and daily shuttle operations will begin July 1st. Hikers and bikers can travel on the Sun Road as far as posted closures. Access beyond the closures is prohibited, and visitors who disobey the road closure signage are putting their safety and that of rescue personnel at risk. Traffic is expected to increase every day at 3 p.m. when the vehicle reservations are no longer required for the day. For safety purposes, from May 24th through September 8th, the portion of the Sun Road that is open to motor vehicles will be closed to bicycle use between 3 and 6 p.m. from Apgar to Logan Pass. The Sun Road opened to Avalanche Campground over Mother's Day weekend. Snow removal on the Sun Road began the first week of April and will continue until open to Logan Pass. In previous years, the road opened between mid-June and early July, but park officials said the road may open a little earlier this year. Typical years see snowstorms and avalanches continuing through May, making it impossible to predict an opening date, according to park officials. The road crew actively works across 40 avalanche paths, making operations highly dependent on avalanche hazard conditions. Some concessions, such as lodging, tours, food service, and retail shops, open in May. The Apgar Visitor Center began daily operations May 11th, and the St. Mary Visitor Center will be open daily starting May 24th. Thanks for joining us. News Now is a podcast from the Daily Interlake. We're proud to be the largest independent newsroom in Montana and the oldest paper in the Valley. Consider becoming a subscriber to support our work. Call Circulation at 406-755-7018 or go to the subscribe button in the top right corner of our website. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel to never miss an episode of the pod. Everybody stay safe and have a great week.